Hello. Welcome to The Backroad. My name is Ethan Levesque, better known online as the Mainah Man. Using the ideas and principles that have guided my own career and life goals through business, marketing, and creativity, I'm here to discuss the strategies that actually help to build strong relationships with your audience, no matter the platform. Coming up on The Backroad, we talk about diversification, right? How to diversify your company, your portfolio, your life. We talk about what it means to live a career portfolio instead of a career path, and why it's so important to keep growing. And I use my own production efforts on social media as an example of how to expand your goals. All of that and more just around the corner. Welcome to episode 24. Today's theme is diversification. What is it? Why is it important? How do you use it? Where does it matter? Who does it matter to? Does it matter to you? Who framed Roger Rabbit? All important questions that we'll get to, except maybe the last one. However, at this juncture, I want to take a second to talk about procrastination. Now, procrastination, i.e., aka, e.g., the action of delaying something, is something we all do in one form or another. If given the opportunity, many of us would take an easy out of our daily responsibilities if we could. Imagine being able to wake up, not go to work, and do absolutely nothing instead all day. Just hours and hours of lounging in a beanbag chair until your hips hurt, your shirt stained, and the water in your eyes are evaporated from all the mega dosing of screen time. Wouldn't that be grand? With no repercussions, no judgments, no shames attached? Most of us would take that deal without a second thought. Of course, life isn't that luxurious. For most of us, unless the family is out of town, the house is clean, the office is closed, and it's raining outside, we have to spend each and every day actively trying to make the right decisions. It's a balance between discipline and decompression, performance and pleasure, up and at it or down and scratching it. The truth is, when we're doing things we don't like to do, we will yearn to be somewhere else. It's a fact of life. It's a basic instinct. It's Buddha's third type of suffering. And in these moments where you're faced with something that you view negatively, it will become incredibly easy to justify doing just about anything other than it. And if given the choice between creating arts and crafts vision boards showcasing how you're going to solve a problem, or spending the time actually fixing it, most of us would prefer to color. If given the choice between working late night in order to finish the paperwork you owe your boss the next day, or restringing the line on your old fishing pole, most of us would prefer to hyperfixate in peace. In fact, when given the choice, most of us would rather clean an industrial-sized pile-up of month-old dishes than spend one more hour on what we're doing. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I'm one of those people. I'm one of you. I struggle with procrastination. Surprise, surprise, the stranger with long hair on the internet procrastinates. Who would have guessed? The reason I'm confessing this is because it got the best of me. I was supposed to be live streaming this show on YouTube last week and just couldn't get it prepared in time. All week, a voice in my head told me not to go live, that it should wait until next week. Now, I'm pretty used to that pesky little voice in my head fighting with me. I'm pretty used to winning, in fact. Most of those battles are victorious in my favor. But no matter what I did this week, I just couldn't seem to focus enough attention to move all the pieces together in time. And 30 minutes before showtime, I realized the live was no longer possible. I recorded, I did a quick edit, I posted, I moved forward wondering where the heck I went wrong. Wondering why I swept the kitchen to problem solve in my head instead of problem solving on Google. Wondering why I had everything in place and still couldn't focus at all. The funny thing about that little voice in your head, see, sometimes it's not out to get you. Sometimes it's actually there to help. The day after I missed my goal, I was so bogged down by disappointment in myself that I had no choice but to dig deep into the root of the problem. And through all the anger I felt toward myself, I also saw fear and shame. I saw a person lacking the confidence to put an unedited version of himself in front of an audience. I saw someone scared to put himself out there, someone who didn't feel worthy. And with this realization, I was able to heal the part of me that was holding myself back and let go of the baggage I was holding on to. By learning exactly why I refrained from moving forward, I made it easier to move forward every day after. Now I sit here with you without any worries a week later, knowing in my mind I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and I've learned exactly what I was supposed to have learned. I look forward to every episode with you from here on out. So catch the Backroad podcast live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Now let's get back into the meat and potatoes of this episode, shall we? The importance of diversification is made very clear while we're young. By teaching history, English, math, science, art, physical education all in the same place, we were taught that diverse education makes us more prepared for the world around us. By encouraging us to take on extracurricular activities like basketball, guitar, or competitive arguing, we're taught that diverse experiences make us more appealing to colleges. By being told to add a variety of occupations and certifications to our resume, we were taught that diverse expertise makes us more hireable to employers. But why does diversity matter so much? I mean, logically, wouldn't you think a boss would rather hire a person who has dedicated every waking second of their being to their craft over the person who's dedicated themselves to multiple crafts? Well, I wish it were that simple. Unfortunately, the answer is, it depends. It depends on the job, on the field of study, on the intensity of the workload. It depends on the employer, who they want to hire, what that employer values in their staff, who an employer respects. It depends on the reason, the intention, and the circumstance. The truth is, diversity in your life matters because it opens more doors for you. Including tennis on your resume is a weird flex, sure, but you never know when you're going to stumble into an employer who's weirdly into badminton and needs a new partner. So why not include it? I mean, you'll never know what it's like to close a business deal on a golf course if you're too afraid to take your first swing at the driver's range. Practicing new things, saying yes to new opportunities, and actively seeking new networks is the best way to guarantee your life always has options. Diversification is defined as the process of enlarging or varying your range of products or field of operation, and being willing to grow and try is the first step toward another door. I studied video production 2012 to 2016, and while achieving my bachelor's from NESCOM, I was able to befriend a few professors. And every now and then, these teachers would catch wind of an opportunity to hire students and throw us the resources we'd need to get the job done. For me, that path resulted in a few wedding gigs, but while I did the work for cheap, by the time I had 3 under my belt, the work had already become quite easy. All I needed was my own equipment, and I could be doing this full time. So with an education in video production and a small wedding portfolio, I was able to found my wedding videography business at the end of my senior year. Of course, just starting out after college, I wasn't able to land enough wedding clients to meet my cost of living full-time, but I was luckily able to land a job as a video production specialist for a marketing firm in Bangor. They had a lot to teach me, and I had a lot to learn. So for the next 2 years, I learned their hustle in and out. I learned to work fast, handle deadlines, and be part of a team. I learned to fly drones, write advertisements, and communicate professionally. I learned to film strategically, edit wisely, and move on immediately. These 2 years in the marketing industry taught me more about videography than 4 years of film school, and by 2018, I was able to add events, commercials, marketing, and drone work to my company rapport. And now, with 4 different but similar streams of income, my company was able to flourish, all thanks to diversification. I continued to work for that marketing company for several more years, except with a much firmer grasp on the marketing industry. I spent the next 2 years practicing marketing strategies, writing content, thinking creatively, and even designing graphics. I asked questions repeatedly, and I wouldn't stop until I understood the answer. And by 2020, my side hustle company had become my full hustle company, offering social media management and content creation to its wheelhouse. With a much more diverse portfolio than ever before, doors began to unlock even faster for me. Over the next 2 years, I practiced public speaking. I developed my brand, and I learned about search engine optimization, SEO. And with the time I dedicated to these new skills, I was able to book more gigs, make more sales, and amass nearly 1 million followers on TikTok. Suddenly, the world was my oyster, and this never-ending education is what paved the road. By the time 2022 arrived, I was 100% self-employed and had a few brand management clients as well. Now, 2022 to 2024 was mostly spent trying to figure out how to balance my work life and my personal life, but ultimately everything was working as it should, and I enjoyed managing my day-to-day operations. However, I was also able to find the time to study public relations, experiment with nonprofit fundraising, and establish my own formula for creating marketing campaigns. Now I offer my services as a business and marketing coach to any business that needs my help. By learning new things whenever possible, by taking risks with my time, and seeking new networks, my career grew. Thanks to my first wedding client, I've been able to film weddings for 10 years. Thanks to my first commercial client, I've been making commercials for 8 years. Thanks to my first drone client, I've been being paid for drone work for 6 years. Thanks to my first viral video, my social media content has been paid and sponsored for 4 years. Thanks to my first failures in graphic design, I've been openly accepting graphic work for 2 years. And now, thanks to my first nonprofit client, I'll be able to create campaigns that benefit nonprofits for years to come. The point is, consciously continuing to diversify my career has been the best decision I've ever made, and it's proven to work time and time again. In my work, I've met incredible people, worked for incredible companies, and told incredible stories. Every good thing I've received in this life, I've received because I told the universe I was looking for it, and I was willing to chase it. Trying new things, meeting new people, cultivating new experiences, they're the best way to open yourself up to new possibilities and fresh starts. And that's why this week's Earful explains exactly where to focus your diversification efforts. I get asked all the time, "So Ethan, what do you do?" And I've always had a hard time answering that. In fact, the longer time goes on, the harder and harder time I have responding. Except recently, I stumbled into an article from advancetheseed.org that finally gave me an answer to this question. The reason I get so uncomfortable explaining what I do to people is because I don't just do one thing. I don't have a career path. I have a career portfolio. I have a series of things that I've done that prove I can do them in addition to just about anything else I set my mind to. Sure, I work in video production industry all the time, but that industry has hundreds of micro-industry hidden within its field of operations, and I'm part of a dozen of them. I'm a wedding videographer, a photographer, a storyteller, an entrepreneur, a content creator, an influencer, a commercial drone pilot, a marketing strategist, a production specialist, a public speaker, an artist, a brand manager, a content writer, a filmmaker, and a coach. But how do you explain that to someone? How do I explain that I can cook up a TikTok script just as fast as I can cook a soft-boiled egg? How do I explain that I can solve an editing error just as fast as I can solve a Rubik's Cube? How do I explain that I can throw out a marketing strategy and hit my target just as naturally as I can throw a baseball and hit a glove? Now, originally I was going to try to define what a career portfolio is on my own, but I've learned advancetheseed.org has a better answer. So for anyone wondering exactly what I do, here it is. Rather than rely on a single source of income, my portfolio career has a diverse range of professional activities, which includes part-time roles, freelance work, consulting, teaching, and entrepreneurship. This approach allows individuals to leverage their skills and interests in various ways, creating more flexible and fulfilling work life. That's me. And for me, that means 40% of my income comes from weddings, 30% from commercials, marketing, and coaching, and 30% from content creation. But it still adds up to 100. And even though 100% of my income comes from video production, this multifaceted approach to my career allows me to do just about anything I want. Every day, the work I'm doing is the work I've earned and the work I love. And how many of you out there can say the same? I'm not saying you should quit your career path and pursue a career portfolio. This isn't the way for everyone. But I do believe diversification is the key to building fulfillment and positivity in your professional life. If you're working a W-2 job, doing the same thing day in and day out, and haven't had a change in what you do in months, if not years, chances are you're in a rut. You're stuck. You're enslaved by your own discontentment. But you don't need to quit to find happiness and freedom. Instead, all you need to do is add something fresh to the mix. Learn something new. Introduce yourself to someone. Fuel your freedom with some refreshing thoughts. If you want to diversify your life, your work, or your hobbies, start by identifying your skills and interests. You don't just want to take any old opportunity that comes your way. That's how you get catfished. That's how you get pyramid scammed. Knowing who you are, what you like, what you're good at, and what you're about will help you narrow down the types of roles and opportunities that are right for you. Somewhere out there, under the umbrella of your industry, but outside of your wheelhouse, is a door begging for you to open it. And with it will come a burst of fresh air. If you find yourself needing to diversify, then networking is your must. Connecting with other professionals in your industry is the best way to build new relationships with new partners, clients, or leads. I mean, consider the 6 degrees of separation, right? More popularly explained as the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, the Bacon's Law. 2 people on Earth are 6 or fewer acquaintances apart. You never know who the people you know. Therefore, everyone should be seen as worth getting to know. If you're trying to diversify, then make sure you're managing your time effectively. Adding something new on top of what you're already doing can feel overwhelming to everyone. So make sure you use the strategies and resources that help you stay on top. Find the apps and approaches that help you prioritize tasks, set achievable goals, and always keep yourself organized. Diversification isn't a New Year's resolution, it's a long-term commitment. So set yourself up to succeed. Measure twice before cutting. You know what I mean? If you don't think you need to diversify, you're wrong. Continuous learning is the only way to stay ahead of the curve. Closed-mindedness is the reason Kodak closed its doors when digital cameras became available. They were top of the game and now they're dead. In fact, countless companies have gone from leading the charge in their field to putting the close sign up. Why? Because of closed-minded leadership. So if you want to stay successful in your profession, then never stop developing. And even if you've already made it to the top, learning what's to your left and to your right will keep you there. If you want your diversification to be smooth, then stay flexible and adaptable, because change is imminent. And at some point, your assumptions are going to be wrong. Your expectations are going to be challenged. Your values are going to be threatened. Learning to go with the flow is your best way out of rough waters, because it not only teaches you how to float when others are sinking, but also how to predict and navigate the next wave. At the end of the day, it's a lot easier to get through a door that's open than a door that's closed. If you want to open more doors, you have to meet more people. If you want more people to open more doors for you, they've got to see your value. And if you want to show your value, then you need to be in charge of your own potential. It doesn't matter if you're climbing the ladder at a Fortune 500 or clocking a 9-to-5 for a mom and pop. Your future at that company is in your hands. And where you go is up to you. If you're happy staying put, enjoying your routine, taking an unpaid lunch break, and listening to the same radio commercials on your way home every day, then you don't have to diversify at all. You can still be a valued company asset by being a good company soldier. There's plenty of opportunity out there. Lots of people looking for that. Most of them. But if you're not satisfied with where you are, if your aspirations are meant to carry you even further, if you want to be a weapon in your industry, then diversifying your industry expertise and your network is your best next step. Well, we're almost out of the woods, but we're not there yet. Let's take a detour. How am I diversifying my content these days? Great question. Let's talk shop. Every content creator out there knows that you have to diversify your production efforts. We've all seen apps rise and fall in popularity. We've all seen algorithms change, and we've all seen cultural shifts. For every Charlie Bit My Finger YouTube search in the 2000s came a Where's Charlie Bit My Finger Now Google search in the 2020s. With TikTok at its controversial peak these days, Vine long behind us, and X struggling to find a friggin' identity, no influencer really knows for sure where their career is going to take them in 5 years. Things could go extremely well, or statistically speaking, things could go quite poorly. That's why I've spent the last year brainstorming all the ways I can diversify my own social media content to ensure a safer and more successful career, financially, emotionally, and analytically. So let's talk a bit about what you can expect from me, the Mainah Man, moving forward. Of course, my career would not be where it is today without my OG campaigns. That's why I release my chaotic comedy skits and true and horrible life advice series each week 3 times. These are the bread and butter that my audience has come to expect, and I'm happy to keep making them. Quite frankly, they're fun as hell to make, they're absolutely a riot to film, and they're furiously funny to edit. In an effort to make more wholesome and grounded content, I've created 2 unscripted series that revolve around my life. My Neck of the Woods is a regular series airing 3 times a week that will show off the funniest moments from my personal life. For example, the first time my girlfriend drew a giant snow phallus in the backyard and caught the neighbor's attention. Mainah Memoirs is a semi-regular long-style series that follows my professional life in vlog form. The last video was actually an exclusive tour of Fenway Park. Quite fun. And lastly, I've developed a couple of content machines to make even more range in my content. New to the production schedule, of course, is the podcast, right? The Backroad, coming to you live and unhinged or in edited formats. Stay tuned for educational and entertaining episodes every week. Plus, we've officially launched Content for a Cause. Tune in last week for a little bit more information on that. It's a rotating video series sponsored by local businesses for the benefit of local nonprofits and communities that deserve our attention. With these long-format videos come hundreds of clips, so enjoy a plethora of playful pleasantness coming your way. I'm practicing what I'm preaching, is what I'm saying. I'm diversifying for you. I'm diversifying for me. I'm diversifying for my adorable-ass girlfriend. I'm diversifying so that 2 years from now, I can enjoy the healing that comes from my next procrastination. I'm diversifying so my next paycheck comes sooner. I'm diversifying so I can enjoy what I'm doing. If you're not learning, then you're not growing, and nobody wants to play with the guy that hangs from one monkey bar and never moves. Thanks for listening. The end of our journey has come, but don't worry, there's plenty more to learn and consume. I've mentioned all of my new content, so I guess I should probably plug some of my old stuff. Also on my YouTube channel, you'll find a 7-episode mockumentary web series called Loon Echo. Really, really fun, to be honest. And a 40-minute dramatic thriller film called Indemnity, also a really good time. We got something for everybody. So don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to The Mainah Man on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, as long as you can anyway, at The Mainah Man. Be sure to catch The Backroad live on YouTube every Tuesday at 5 p.m. or catch the edited release Wednesdays wherever podcasts are found the following week. Thanks for walking the Backroad with me. I've been Ethan Levesque, here to help you accomplish your business, marketing, and production goals. And remind you that you can get there from here. How my device... Nope, that ain't correct. Let's try that one more time. Boy, oh boy. You ever just have a case of worm mouth? Where it's you don't know whether or not that orifice is your mouth or your butthole because everything coming out of it is crap? Because same.